Hello, everyone. I just watched something and experienced something, and I thought I'd start it today, or reading today for the reputation of God today. Uh, June just, I heard it's about 9:30 in the morning, and I just heard her out there, or I just heard a cat fight and it went on and on. I'm going, oh my gosh, hollered out there. I'm going, but that black cat came in now, and I went out, and June came running in here, and and the dogs weren't doing a thing. I go out there, and here's him just wagging his tail, and I hear a squirrel making the biggest fuss in the tree and just having gone up, and you could tell. And I'm going, what just happened? And I came in, I checked on June here, she's fine. Remember, my cat has no claws. She's declawed in the front. And had a pretty rough life until my daughter got her. Uh, uh, and then I ended up with her. And I've had her for a few years now. And she's gotten good at catching voles and mice and moles and who knows what. Today, I think she tried to catch a squirrel and it didn't go so well. Anyway, they seem to both be fine. And she's fine. Gotta be careful, right? Squirrels do carry rabies, but she's okay. She looks like she's fine. I mean, I checked her, she's fine. There's no injuries or anything. And then I saw another one where this cane corso, and it was a beautiful one, and they're showing how he protects his grandpa. It said, grandpa. I guess he's the grandpa who owns it. And I looked on how the dog was reacting to its environment in front of its owner, and brought back something that I experienced with my dogs at the farm. We always had amazing dogs at the farm, and they didn't even need to be trained for some reason. If there was a leader in the pack, that leader just trained everyone. And I remember one instant in particular. We in the mountains, you have all kinds sorts of friends, and they have their friends that aren't necessarily your friends. And I had a friend, uh, long time friend. He got into some things, but anyway, came to visit many years ago. This is a few years ago now, and I had all three of my big dogs there: Bo, Gus, and Jake. And the car came down the driveway to the house, and for some reason they don't always do that. They all three of them were on the alert, but the main one was Bo, the oldest one, who was kind of the leader of the pack at that time. And he immediately stood in front of the gate to the yard. Jake was inside, and Gus was also outside. Jake is our German Shepherd. And my friend gets out of the car, and there's a whole, I don't know how many people were in that car. And he gets out of the car, and I could tell immediately my dogs were not okay with whatever else was in that car. And I said, you can get out, but nobody else. So he comes in, and he wants to just talk to me about something. I'm not sure, or he was looking for someone. And I'm not sure why they were looking at my house for that person. But anyway, he comes into the yard, and Bo lets him in. I say, okay, Bo, it's okay. Bo lets him in, and Gus comes in, and Bo stands in front of the gate with his hair on standing up, and he has very short hair, but you could see it, and Gus on the alert on the other side of the gate, and Jake followed him in, and sat right next to me, and his hair was up and he was growling. Jake does not growl, and Jake has no, there's no, for some reason though, that time. And my friend reaches down and said, don't touch him. I think he'll bite you this time. I said, I'm not sure what's going on. But he says, oh, he'll be okay. I said, just don't touch him. Leave him alone. I said, Jake, all is good. And he stayed on the alert, looking at him the whole time he was there. Well, anyway, we had our little conversation, this or that, but didn't do anything. All my dogs were under voice control. Anyway, so then he got back out and got back in the car, and they left again. And all the dogs immediately relaxed. You could just tell. I'm not sure. The reason I'm telling this story and having seen this little clip of the other guy with his dog on a leash, I don't understand why. Okay, in the city, you can't really get a dog. Okay, yeah, you could. Little dogs don't need that much. Like a big dog. But when it comes down to it, I don't understand why people don't just have, instead of an alarm system and pay all this money, okay, you pay for animals too, get a dog. Have a good dog. Have a good dog that protects your environment. Statistics have shown that alarm systems are less, deter less robbers and murderers and whoever these cane people are out there than a dog. They're more afraid of a dog than anything else. And so anyways, I just wanted to share that. And I was, after the whole thing was over, I'm going, well, I don't know what happened. There was nothing really that said there's danger. Nothing. The car just came down the road. My friend got out of the car with all them people in the car and came into the gate and talked to me and then left. But for some reason, all three of my dogs were on the alert. Isn't that something? Yeah. Anyway, so there's that, right? Yeah. Well, I thought I'd share that. Besides that, my nature. God has provided us with protection. Yes, God has provided us with animals to keep things from getting too close to us, like squirrels. Those squirrels are cute. Mom wants to feed them. Why would you do that? Now I do it in the wintertime, but I make sure that it's far enough away from the house. Because, again, squirrels do carry diseases. You don't want to get bit by squirrels. And so they're cute out there doing their thing, picking up the nuts. They do some cleanup, right, around your trees. But otherwise, right? So cats, to have cats around to kind of chase them off a bit, keep boundaries is a good thing, isn't it? Yeah. So again, there too, it's not just God's pharmacy out there in plants, this and that help us with a lot of things. Yes. But it's also, when it comes to protection, there are animals who really are man's best friend. Where they take care of certain things. It's a give and take. Right? We have them as pets and let them still do their thing, their natural thing that they are created for. Yes? Anyway, just saying. Okay, let's get going here. All my years with even growing up as a child with animals and that wasn't always an ideal situation, but for some reason, again, I do believe that you are one of Seth's people. When you are practiced to be one of Seth's people, then and you're surrounded by Seth's people as a child, you grow up into a person that has a good common sense, knows right from wrong, even if we do also excuse it sometimes. But we know right from wrong. Our conscience will tell us that when we are doing something wrong or we're supporting something wrong just because it's an easier way. Yes? But we also recognize in nature this net and what the right thing is and how things work. We start to recognize that, and would not ever abuse God's creations. Yes. So I always say, keep them, use them, but never abuse them. Okay, well, let's get going. And then the give and take is amazing, right? Yes? Okay. All right, we are in the book of Ezekiel 30, against Egypt, the day of Yahweh. Against Egypt, against Egypt, against Egypt, we had on 29, against Egypt on 30. A day of Yahweh this time, though. The word of Yahweh was addressed to me as follows: Son of man, prophesy and say, the Lord Yahweh says this, howl, disaster day, for the day is near. Oh, is this where they got? Listen to this. Howl, disaster day. Does that sound familiar? What do they call it? The end of times. It's coming straight out of here too. All right. We already know that, but there it is. God said, go and howl, disaster day. And people are running with that one. They have been running with that one till today. Right? Yes? Yeah. For the day is near. The day of Yahweh is near. It will be a day dark with cloud, a time of doom for the nations. Which brought something else to mind. If I remember it at the end, I'll talk a little about it. The sword will come on Egypt, and anguish in the country of Cush, when the slaughtered fall in Egypt, when her riches are carried away and her foundations are destroyed. Cush put in blood all Arabia, Cub, and the children of the country of the covenant will fall by the sword with them. Yahweh says this. Oh, by the way, from Tyre, actually, according to the map that I read, was still a part of Israel. Tyre is still a part of Israel, and Jerusalem is about 8 hours. Was about 8 hours driving away. So it's about 500. It's about they say 500, 250 miles or something. Well, that would be more. Well, anyway. So that was a long way to go. So I'm not sure exactly where Ezekiel was at the time. Was he in Tyre? But he was all over the other places as well. So I'm not sure how fast he traveled or how far this is all apart, right? Yes? That then he can go and tell the king of Tyre. But the thing is if there was a king of Tyre, well, was there another king in Israel then? If that was still part of Israel? Or was that not a part of Israel at that time? I don't know. But according to the biblical map, it was part of Israel. So that another king? Not getting it. But anyway, that's what it said. Yahweh says this: the supports of Egypt will fall. The pride of her strength will crumble. They will fall by the sword from Migdol to Syene, declares the Lord Yahweh. They will be the most desolate of desolate countries, and its cities the most ruined of cities. And they will know that I am Yahweh when I set fire to Egypt and all its supports are shattered. That day I shall send messengers by ship to terrify the carefree Cushites, and anguish will overtake them on the day of Egypt. It is coming now. The Lord Yahweh says this: I shall destroy the huge population of Egypt at the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. He and his people, the most barbarous of nations, will be brought to ravage the country. They will draw the sword against Egypt and fill the country with corpses. I shall dry up the courses of the Nile and sell the country to the wicked. I shall lay the whole country waste and everything in it. At the hand of foreigners, I, Yahweh, have spoken. The Lord Yahweh says this: I shall destroy the foul idols and take the false gods away from Nuph. Egypt will be left without a ruler. I shall spread fear through Egypt. But if it's getting destroyed by King Nebuchadnezzar, wasn't he also one that... he was an idol himself, for that matter. I shall lay Pathros... Again, how is God pulled into this? What a message coming from God, huh? Yes? You want to believe that? I don't believe that came from God. Wishful thinking. Huh. I shall lay Pathros waste, set so on fire, inflict my punishments on... No. I shall vent my fury on Sin, the bastion of Egypt. I shall wipe out the throngs of No. I shall set fire to Egypt. Okay, we already heard that. Sin will be seized with convulsions. A breach will be opened at No, and the waters flood out. The young men of On and Pi Beseth will fall by the sword, and the cities themselves go into captivity. I thought they were all killed. At Taphanes, they will Taphanes day will turn to darkness when I shatter the scepters of Egypt there, when the pride of her strength ceases. A cloud will cover Egypt itself, and its daughters will go into captivity. Such will be the punishments I inflict on Egypt, and they will know that I am Yahweh. In the 11th year, on the 7th day of the first month, the word of Yahweh was addressed to me as follows. Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh king of Egypt. You can see that no one has dressed his wound by applying remedies to it, by bandaging it and by dressing it, to make it strong enough to wield the sword. This being so, the Lord Yahweh says this, Look, I am against Pharaoh king of Egypt. I shall break his arms, the sound one and the broken one, and make the sword drop from his hand. I shall scatter Egypt among the nations and disperse it among the countries. I shall strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon and put my sword in his hand. I shall break Pharaoh's arms and confront it with his enemy. He will groan like a dying man. I shall strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and the arms of Pharaoh will fall, and they will know that I'm Yahweh when I put my sword into the hands of the king of Babylon and he wields it against Egypt. I shall scatter Egypt among the nations and disperse it among the countries, and it will know that I am Yahweh. Now again, it says here, in the 11th year, on the 7th day of the first month. Okay, I'm not sure, okay, what is the time frame here exactly? But you know what came to my mind while I was reading this? Is, with my pen again. Does this have anything to do with when, though Ezekiel at that time, I don't even know, did Ezekiel exist at the time of Moses? I guess not. One would say, from what we've been reading, not. And yet, that sounds like at the time when Moses took the Israelites out of Egypt, right? How could that be possible? Most likely only if, right, the Egyptians were attacked by someone else, as strong as whom? Nebuchadnezzar? I'm just saying, right? Yeah. Okay. Don't know, wasn't there. The Bible seems to have no real timeline going, really, when it comes down to it. Even though I'm being given the supposed time here, which could mean whatever. Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. So, back to, again, do you want to believe this? God would actually do that? Want to do that? Does that have anything to do with protecting the Israelites? Oh, talking about the dogs, right? Oh, so you could look at it as King Nebuchadnezzar, as the protective dog of the Israelites, goes and destroys the Egyptians. Does it work like that? I talked about the give and take, right? Yes. When you understand on how the principles of creation actually work. And I don't think that's part of it. So again, why pull God into something that God has nothing to do with? Yes? The end of times. Okay. So, let's see, what do we have? A few minutes. So just really quick on, I just saw something again, where people study numbers. Okay, numbers to me is math. Numbers to me is a part of the principles of creation, then the intelligence given to me under the principles of love, where I can compute things, where I can add things, subtract things, multiply things, divide things, create things, right? Yeah, due to math, right? Yes? Yeah? Okay. Understand measurements, this and that. That's what numbers are for me. But when it comes to Oh, there are, and believe me, I was pulled into it as well for a long providential numbers. I've talked about on how why are you so afraid of the number 6 when it's multiplied by or when there are 3 of them. 666. What's the difference between 666 and 777 or 111? Just asking. What's the difference? Except for their value, the number value. Huh? 13. What's the difference between the number 13 and 17, for example? There isn't one, except the number value. Otherwise, those two numbers are very similar when you think about it. Yes? Well, they're uneven numbers, yes, but that's not just what they are. What's the difference between, why did I not add, for example, or good, 11? 11, 13, 17. Why did I not add, 19? Why not 15? Why not 15? You think about it, yes? Yeah. Anyway, so what's so bad about the number 13? I happen to be born on the 13th, okay? Oh, Friday. What makes the Friday the 13th into such an ominous thing? Was that something that God created? Is that part of the principles of creation and the principles of love? Friday the 13th. Black cats with ladders or something. What is all that? Yes. But then, so that's the superstitious part, the ominous part. But then, it's also, but we have lucky numbers. Really? Why? How? Who says? Providential numbers. Come again? It's amazing to me that, again, we have been brainwashed and bred into believing that you can segregate good numbers and bad numbers. That there are good numbers and bad numbers. Yet all they are is just numbers. It's a tool that God created for us to work with. That's all they are. It's as simple as that. Yes? And yet, one sincere bow is worth way more than 120 done in a rush. Let's get it over with. It's your heart to mind that dictates sincerity, not numbers. Yes? All right. Sound good? All right, that's all I have to share today. So don't be superstitious. Don't go for all that stuff. It's just silly. It's absolutely silly to believe all that. It keeps you from actually focusing on what's important. Yes? Just saying. All right, that's all I have to share this morning. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, guide you, embrace you with love. Eldridge, my dearest brother in faith. Let's keep praying. Yes? And I will talk to y'all another time.